Right, so after a very, very long and miserable winter where unfortunately due to everything that's been going on, we've not been able to get out fishing very much at all, we finally managed to get back on the bank, and I'm out with spot and fin cameras today, and what I'm going to give you lovely lot is a sneaky look at some new products that we're bringing out. So the lads in the factory and the gaffer Pel have been ever so busy while we've all been bored watching the telly on our couches. They've still been in their factory producing some new products hopefully for this year that just bridge the gaps that spotters fin haven't covered in the past, and just responding to current methods and all sorts of things like that. So what I've done for you lot is I've picked pretty much my favourite. I've picked four different products that I want to have a little quick one through, just to tell you about what is coming very, very, very shortly. So what we are going to do, we're going to go out as well and do individual videos on all these products, just so I can hopefully show you how to get, well, relatively the best out of the products that you can. But what I want to do, so today is a case of a sneaky little insight as to what's coming your way very, very shortly as soon as we get back on the bank. So first up, what I'm going to talk about is two new ground baits. And what the big focus on ground bait has been is that, particularly for my own fishing, which is where it sort of stemmed from, is that the places that I use ground bait, or the commercial world that we're in these days, in the situations that you use ground bait, is quite limited. Yeah, I find that these days with commercials, when you're fishing for carp and F1s, which the majority of us are, the only time you're going to be really going to be using ground bait is fishing down the edge or fishing across to an island. And that is what really, really we're going to focus on. More so, I'm going to talk about my favourite and my posh one first, is that island sort of fishing. You know what I mean? It's been ever so popular, what the match anglers like to call a mudline type fishing, where you're fishing your ground bait into very, very shallow water against islands. It's become a massively popular way of fishing over the last few years. And I felt that we needed a ground bait that was perfect for it. I mean, in times I've mixed lots of different ground baits together to achieve what I want, and instead Pel's fixed that and made me a lovely bag of green betaine, which is going to give me that nice green, not too much of a lively colour, but there's absolutely full of fish meal and really, really heavy. I say I'm not going to go really into depth of them or what they're about just at the minute. It's just a quick look, but for me that is going to be my brand new margin-y, pretty much mudline type fishing whenever I'm in my very, 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 very shallow water. Next up, I've got some hemp blend, which is something different. I said to him, I fished a lot of my time at places like Larford. I'd say Larford's pretty much the one that comes to mind. And they see ground bait a lot. I mean, those venues that are absolutely hammered with ground bait is the only way people fish, with big pots of ground bait in the edge for them crafty carp. It definitely felt that last year they were getting a bit wary and they were getting sick of getting caught in the same ways. And what I wanted was something different. Yeah, we were all feeding the same pellet-based types ground bait because there's nothing else really available that was suitable for that type of fishing. So I said to Pel, let's have a little play and see if we can get something very, very different that's a bit of a change from just the pellet-based ground bait. So we came up with a lovely, massively attractive, massive oily hempy mix that I'm going to try later in the year. That's going to be my substitute for when the pellets are getting a bit stale sort of thing. The fish are getting a bit sick of everything. Just something different. So again, something I'm going to play with a lot over the summer, but that is going to be my tricky carp big fish mix, if you like, for down the edge once things rock up. So the ground bait's done. Next thing, and this I want to shout at you lot for this as well, is that last year mugging was a big thing. It has been for a couple of years, and I'm obsessed with mugging carp. And it became really clear that I was using some of our 6mm carp pellets, the boosted carp pellets, that are really, really light and really, really slow sinking. I mean, I've never had a pellet before that sinks as slowly as these do. Really, really weird. And they were phenomenal for using as my bait, in particular, my hook bait in the 6mm for all my mugging, and also at the few venues where I could use my own pellets, feeding these 6mm. It's just keeping the fish so much higher in the water. On them hot, balmy days, they just sink so much slower and made shallow fishing so much better. So the obvious step was to make some air 4mm to do exactly the same thing. I mean, a nice, shallow base pellet that's perfect for shallow fishing. Still, of course, it's going to go to the bottom and do its job. But what I wanted was a pellet that I can, just a more versatile than a 6mm. So by bringing the same pellets up in a 4mm, now it gives me the option of whenever I'm fishing shallow for F1s, I mean, still me carp fishing at a lot of snake lakes, I've got a much, much slower sinking pellet that's just, I mean, it's going to be a shallow pellet for me. That's what I'm going to use them as, is whenever I can, if fisheries allow, they're going to be my new lovely light shallow pellets that they don't break down too quickly, so I can still use them on the bottom, but that slow sinking property that they have, they're going to be my number one go-to whenever I'm shallow fishing. And lastly, something I'm just going to touch on really, really, really quick, because we are out today, I'm out at Old Tough, and I'm going to do a very specific video just on this product today while we still can. but Pel's done some soft hooker pellets that we'd never had before at Spotted Fin, and it's definitely over the years I've played about a lot with a lot of different companies of pre-done expander pellets, because expander pellets are great when you do them yourselves, but they're fiddly and they're a bit of a pain in the bum. Ideally, I'd love a pellet that's ready done, perfectly done for me straight away, that I can just rock up in my tub and I've not got to think about them in the morning. More so in the summer months when I'm less likely to use my expanders, it's handy to have a tub in the tray, in the bag, ready to go. So I've not got to prep them expanders that I often don't use during the summer. So I've got some in case, but I was fussy about these. Really, really, really fussy, because often when you get your pre-done softened pellets, they're a load of rubbish. The last thing I wanted was floaty pellets, breaking down pellets. We just want something really, really versatile that's got the strength and the, what should we call it, rigidity in it. The fibres are tight enough to be able to make it nice and versatile so you can use it in lots of different methods, but at the same time not being like trying to hook a lump of Play-Doh on the hook. I want a proper pellet that I'd be happy using as if I prepared it myself. And luckily, I don't know if I've opened them once yet, we've opened them, that's what Pel's come up with. He's come up with a lovely soft hooker pellet in a million different flavours and sizes, as he does, to cover everything for everyone. But we've came up with a perfect pellet that is hookable and sinks like a stone. They're so heavy, which was a key thing for me to make sure they stay on the bottom, which is the issue with expanders. But yeah, a lovely range of pre-soaked pellets or pre-prepared pellets without too much preservative as well, so you've not got that nasty smell. They're all flavoured with all the favourite Spotted Fin flavours. They are ready to go. So pretty much that's all we're going to cover for now. So a nice little insight about what's about to be released at the Spotted Fin headquarters. So we've got a couple of other products that a couple of other lads are going to go out and tease you with. So we've got a nice little twist on the method feeder pellets, or the pre-soaked method pellets, and we've got some pellet soaks as well that are something a little bit different. But so for now, I'm going to get some kit out and have a little fish, but this is what is to come from Spotted Fin in the next few weeks.